Hello, beautiful being. Welcome to this short mini podcast where I was guided to share a very, very specific message for someone out there. But I believe it applies to so many of us on this spiritual journey. And I want to apologize if there are car noises, birds, airplanes, whatever it is that you hear. It's I'm outdoors. Okay, so here's a very, very specific message that not only was confirmed through repeated experiences, because this is how, by the way, this is how we gain spiritual wisdom. Okay, it is through experiences. Now, it's not a matter of, just drawing conclusions once because, you took an action and then it unfolded a certain way. No, it is through repeated experiences, sometimes different, sometimes the same, that you get to see a specific pattern. And through that pattern, you start to draw your own conclusions and draw spiritual wisdom that, because we have been so conditioned and so programmed on a mental level and on an emotional level as well, we have, gosh, I'm sorry about that. Okay, we have forgotten. You see, the ideal situation, the ideal place to be, it is when our mind, body, and soul are all aligned. But because we have forgotten who we really are, which is the soul, who we are on a soul level, and our connection to God, the real connection to God, and not some sort of scripture or following some sort of plan, which is still conditioning. For me, it's the shame conditioning. When you are aligned, then your path unfolds. Okay, doesn't mean that you don't have necessarily challenges or lessons. I mean, we came here for a reason. We came to have experiences on earth. Okay, now as we move into the new earth, obviously our experiences are going to be less and less painful and less like this old earth school, which was really, really harsh, but they're going to be much more in alignment with our destiny and our path. Okay, and coming back to what I was saying, because we have been so conditioned on a mental level and on an emotional level, we have started to identify with our personality and our identity, which is just the result of our past experiences, of social conditioning, culture, religion, all of those things, family, karmic patterns, all of those things that we have been influenced and we have lived under the influence of. Now, for those of you who have, maybe awakened in your journey earlier, you started to see that, wait a minute, life is not my reality, the one that is in my soul, and the reality on the outside, they don't align. Like, I know there are truths for me. I know that things are not supposed to be this way. And yet they are. So there's got to be a problem in there, right? It's either, things are really aligned for us to be disconnected from who we are on the outside. And that's when you start going on this journey where you uncover and you peel back these layers. Like, this is really when I started. That was a while ago. That was like 7 years ago, 5 years ago. I can't remember exactly. 2017. That's when I started really having this awakening through, repeated spiritual journeys. And that's the moment that I heard a very loud voice saying, you're meant to write a book on really your authentic soul, on your authenticity and what that means. And since that moment, I really became a life learner. I really started to look at life from an objective perspective and started peeling back all these layers. So it was a journey, and this is what we're all doing as we are taking off the 3D clothes of the old earth, and we are embodying more of our true authentic essence and our true authentic soul. We are discovering realities that in the past we assumed as truths about ourselves, about the world, about other people in our life. And these come as shock, because it's almost like you have been living inside of a reality, and all of a sudden your whole the walls around you start to crumble, and you find yourself in a bigger environment, and it's like, oh my gosh, like, how do I navigate this new reality? Okay. And there are truths inside of your own personal life. There are truths inside of society. There are truths inside of Earth, okay, that we have been put in these boxes, okay, box after box after box after box. And coming back to what I wanted to share about these lessons, the moment you start relying on your intuition and your connection to source as the main driver in your life, and you stop listening to fears, because that's how we are controlled, whether that is, from karmic influences or from society or from the matrix. Fear, shame, fear and shame, these are manipulation, emotional manipulation, mental games. This is how we are being swayed back and forth and controlled. Now, when you stay grounded and you stay aligned, and you know that your foundation is you plus source, not some sort of guru, because I've been there as well, okay? And I've been really swayed off my path. It's important to know that so long you are walking your path with God, with source, in alignment, and you don't put anyone in front of this connection, which should be your primary connection in life. Whenever you put something else, God, source, if you're on a spiritual journey, if you're here to be a spiritually ascended master, and I know these sound like big words, okay? But if you are one of the 144,000, if you're a starseed, if you're an advanced soul, then this is what you came here to do. You didn't come here to climb the social ladder. You didn't come here to gain some sort of, recognition in this way. Now, being on a spiritual path, it really can be the way you want it to be, okay? That doesn't mean that it doesn't translate as having a successful business or looking a certain way, or it doesn't matter. So long it's aligned with your soul, it doesn't matter how it looks like. But the essence has to be pure. It has to come from your soul and not from some sort of validation, external validation outside of yourself, because you're trying to gain something out of the external world. And so anything or anyone you put in front of your connection to source, meaning if you're relying on the system, the matrix, if you're relying on a person, if you're relying on some sort of circumstance outside of yourself and outside of God, then that is going to be crumbling. If you have, let's just take a few examples. Money and love, okay. I just threw out the big guns. Codependency. This is why, as advanced souls, twin flames, we came here. The twin flame journey, by the way, it's not a lovey-dovey love journey. The twin flame journey is the journey to release codependency, period. It's the journey to unconditional love, and the only way we can go back to unconditional love, to the 5D model of love and not the 3D transactional model of love, is through releasing codependency. Codependency means that you have made the source of love, the source of self-love, the source of internal love that should come from source, from you, from your soul, from the oneness, that is just you sitting on a rock by yourself alone, and you feel love. It's not the love that comes from another person. It's not another external source that gives you that feeling, period. You emanate that love, okay? You know, Jesus is not because he was receiving love from you know, the people around him, but he was the one emanating that love. And that's how, you know, that's how his presence, you know, it's being a presence of love in the world. And you can feel that. You can feel someone's frequency when they're in love, when they're aligned. It doesn't matter what they're saying. It doesn't matter what they're preaching. It doesn't matter how they're dressed, how they're standing. You can feel the presence of God. Now, so when you put a specific person in codependency, it's going to be taken away from you, because God wants you to first find that within yourself, and then you're gonna be matched with someone who has reached the same level of unconditional love within themselves. This is pure love. This is 5D love. This is being in your authentic alignment. Same with money. I know it's a very, very hot topic, because society and the matrix have assigned a meaning, a very distorted meaning to money, because we gotta survive in today's world, and the state it's some sort of social labeling system that makes you just feel worthy or feel valuable in society. All these meanings that we have assigned to money need to go. And we see nowadays all these self-proclaimed gurus popping out of nowhere, and everyone seems to be a financial expert. Okay, good. And you manifest money, and you manifest wealth, and you go live on a beach, you buy a whole island or whatever. Forget about that. These do not apply to us. This is still a matrix. This is still a matrix game to keep you looping in some sort of illusion. Our job is to assign a new meaning to money, is understanding that money is a vehicle for our purpose and for our journey. And if God wants you to really struggle financially for a couple of years so that you don't get distracted, and so that you focus on the things that you need to focus, and you need to release karma, then that's what's going to happen. The same as, when you are really, really on your path, and you have released your karmic duties, and when you really walk on your soul path, and you can feel it. You can feel if you're still dealing with some sort of things, or if you're still back and forth. Unless you are really in a place where you know, and your faith is so strong, we are still asking from a place of luck, or from a place of distracting ourselves from our true spiritual path. Now, yes, you can really bring into existence your true destiny and what you really want to bring into your life on a physical level, because we are creators, and we came here to really to also build our creation muscle, and to really to prove, not necessarily prove to others, but to come out of this disempowered state where you are a victim of your circumstances and really live as empowered creators. But in order to live as an empowered creator, you need to understand the laws of creation and the spiritual laws. And it is only through communication, close and intimate communication with Source, that you can understand how this operates. And this is a bit more complex than just, I manifest this, so I'm going to tell I'm going to tell myself 1,000 affirmations a day and it's going to pop up. No, because you got to really be clean in your intentions, and you got to understand what is your soul contract, what is the period of your life where you are in, This can really save you so much trouble, because so much more time. Because personally, when I was going through my karmic contract, I was constantly worried about, money. And in the end, everything just, it got solved somehow. God really had my back. But I was, constantly trying to use money as a way of, I was putting money on a pedestal, meaning, when I'll have money, everything is going to be fine, which wasn't the case. Because God proved me, okay, you really think that money is going to solve your problems? There you have it. And I really, really had to learn this lesson of assigning a new meaning to money, because the Matrix has assigned this meaning has glorified money. Money is really energy. And it's God's vehicle. It's a vehicle for creation, but you gotta master that on an energetic level, and then you get to easily. I don't like the word manipulate, but you get to easily. When you operate from a less dense and rigid, when you let go of your rigid, fixed definitions and meanings you have assigned to money and how it's supposed to work, and when you have a healthy relationship with your own spirituality, with your own alignment with Source, and when you are humble enough to understand that there are chapters, there are seasons, when money becomes your whole identity and your whole goal in life, God doesn't want you to live this kind of life, because it's just meaningless. It's not. It's through this understanding that it is part of life, but not your solution to all the problems. That's what I'm trying to really convey here, because sometimes we're really trying to make this, we're blaming something. Most of us, we try to blame our circumstances of, if it wasn't for this, I would be happy. If it wasn't for that, I would be happy. But if there are in your life, there's a particular reason for that. And I know a lot of you here, and myself included, we have gone through really challenging places, okay? This is not a space where you can, just throw tomatoes like, you don't understand my situation. Trust me, if I'm able to speak here today, it's because I have been through it. Really, really hardly. So my understanding of how this whole process goes is the only way that you can really understand the meaning behind the real spiritual truth and meaning behind your personal experiences at the moment is not through how you're projecting, meaning, I am a victim and this is happening. No, just really understand. Go into your wiser self and see, why am I dealing with this? Why is this still energetically attached to me? How can I come to a space where I'm empowered, where I'm a creator and no longer a victim, Because if you keep being in this cycle of victimhood, like things keep happening to me, you're gonna receive more of that. And personally, I really had to work through that, my masculine energy muscle, because one thing was leading to another, and then there was another thing, and then the apartment got something, and then there was that thing. It was really like, sometimes you can really be on that snowball effect, and God will, to awaken you, if you really just keep going unconsciously, sometimes it will lead you to breaking points where you're just like, I can't do this anymore. There's gotta be a meaning. There's gotta be a deeper meaning to this whole chaos, right? And that's when you stop, and that's when you start taking care of, we really gotta take care of our mental and emotional health through this journey, because this is really this is a spiritual mastery journey, okay? When you finally acknowledge what your soul came here to do, when you finally no longer see yourself as, just a pawn in the matrix, whatever. When you do that, then you really start understanding that you are a star ambassador. You came here to represent God, source energy on earth. You came here as a new earth creator. We come here to birth a new world solely from our connection to source. 1 second, I just received a call. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up because it's getting longer. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that God is not punishing you in any way. Forget about this whole shaming thing, religion, whatever. No, it is to empower you, to really show you your strength. And some of you, I can really feel that you are at the verge of, of a breaking point, because that's where you discover your true power. And that's where you actually realize that your real power doesn't stand in someone else's hands, but in your connection to source and with God. And once you clear your intention and you don't ask from a place of victimhood, but instead you align with your soul path and your destiny, which is, I came here to do God's mission. I came here to be on my soul path. I came here to birth a whole new world from a clean place, from a pure place. And we're really gonna create, we are really, the doors are open, okay? Energetically, the doors are open, and we're really creating heaven on earth. This is why we came here. And the 3D realm, it's a very, it's still a very dark place. The matrix is getting increasingly, especially over the past 4 to 5 years, increasingly dark, and people are truly losing connection to source more and more. And there is this timeline, that the earth split, where there is the AI, there is the matrix that is going to keep looping, and the gap between people, the energetic gap between people, is going to be much more obvious. Okay, so this is really the time for you to awaken to your true path, to choose your true path, and to tell yourself, okay, this is the kind of mission that I have. This is, okay, how do I do it? What are the tools? What are the people I can contact? Who can guide me? What can I read? How can I find time with source? And how can I really create a life that is around my mission? And this is what I want to help you with. I have just started to launch my new program. And it's called Soulcraft, because my mission has always been to help you create a life that is in alignment with your soul. And through this healing process and through this alignment process, where you get to reconnect back with the source and the truth of who you really are, and rewire your system in a way that is aligned with your destiny, then you can pull yourself out of the 3D reality, and you get to really align with the new earth. Now, again, I want to say this is something that life, God, and naturally, organically happens. But along the way, we can have guides, we can have people that, I love to use the word, can make our days better. And if you resonate with my message, and if you resonate with my energy, then I can be that for you. Because we can sometimes place the power in another person. This is not why I'm here. I can be on this journey with you. I can provide you a little bit of wisdom. It can be a little bit of a shortcut, but I cannot do the work for you. I'm not the savior. I'm also not there to give you the solutions. God will provide them, but I can be there to sometimes, through the light that I gained, through the wisdom that I gained, I can light up the path for you, versus just going through it alone. Because we can, sometimes we can get to a point where it's just too much chaos, where we can't really discern, we can't really see through the clouds. And I have personally had, you cannot go on the spiritual journey like really just on your own or by yourself. You can. And I had periods of time where I took my backpack, I quit my job, I went to Asia, I went to Brazil, I went, just on my own. And that was really helpful as well. These moments of quiet, these moments of introspection, they're amazing. But then we also need other people's, I worked with therapists, hypnotherapists, I work with shamans, a lot of them. I worked with professionals, I work with energy healers, I work with starseed healers as well. And every single one of them, they were there on my path for a reason. And this is the beauty of life. We're all here, we're all interconnected, and we're just there to really guide one another back to our own truth, which is we're really just there to hold the torch of light sometimes if we need that. And you are most probably going to be that for other people, or you already are for other people in your life. But the guru culture, where someone holds the ultimate power, that's just complete utter nonsense. Okay, no one has the answers for you. And again, if you put someone else on a pedestal as well, that's also not going to work on your spiritual journey. Right. Okay. So, I will wrap this up today. I hope this message really reached whoever needed. If you're interested in applying, this year is the last chance. The last time that I will be offering one-on-one services. I was instructed by my guides to do that and to move on to new lands and new adventures. So if you're interested in working with me, there's a link to apply. And we can, if you have questions, you can book a short call with me to ask anything you need. And I'm really, really excited. I'm really, really grateful for this opportunity to be a guide for the New Earth visionaries. It's such a blessing and such a wonderful journey ahead that I look forward to. So I look forward to hearing from you, and until next time, enjoy this transition. It's a little bit turbulent lately, I gotta say. It's very intense. If you're having trouble sleeping, etc., it's normal, because as we're moving into this transition with the Pluto in Aquarius, it's probably very shaky. So I wanted to put that out there. All right, I will leave you guys there, and I will see you in the next one. Take care, and bye for now.